Hi guys and welcome to my extension. Okay, so we're on the stage of having the dream set up and now I need to get other people involved that aren't just inside my house and me sat there watching grand designs thinking, yes this, yes that, this the other. This is the dream I wanted to take to the architects, the idea that I had early on. And this is the house, I'll just pop it in here, of what I want to extend. We bought this house with the particular idea of extending into it for the sake of our family. And improving our family life basically inside the house and having an exciting journey. Like I say, this is the first time someone else gets involved, so you're putting money down to people to have the vision. Now this is where I make my biggest mistake. So I've got friends, obviously. I've got friends on Facebook that I've not seen for years, you know, like school friends that are in the building trade and stuff like that. And I basically contacted one of the lads on there that seemed to be doing really well in his business and growing it. He recommended this architect, so I get in contact with this architect. He pops round. As I look over, I express the fact I want it to be different and try and have a conversation with him. But straight away, my gut was kicking off, and it wasn't like, And the wife was sort of saying, well, the architects are different types of people to you. They're more like pragmatic and sort of, they're a different bunch that you normally work with. So my wife was sort of like buffering that area, and I was like, nah, it's not really working. So we tried a few things and I didn't really think he was grasping it. He didn't really listen to where we wanted to take the journey and what we wanted to experience and what we wanted the finished product to feel like. It felt very, for example, I don't want to show the whole plans because he's a decent guy, to be honest, but he just didn't fit us. Like this, it had the sloping roof down like that, the single story side that he completed, and it had the sloping story side, but we didn't want that. We wanted a theatrical sort of, not over the top, but we wanted a peak in the middle and an airy, beautiful feel and a sense of openness with bifolds leading into the garden, which is where my koi pond is. So we wanted that sort of grandiose feel, and we ended up with that, which is a sloping ceiling, a couple of Velux windows and a separated bifolds. And I couldn't wrap my head around that. Maybe if you wanted to separate the area off later to make a bedroom out of it, it'd be great, but that's not what we wanted. We wanted an airy sort of grand, beautiful, high ceilinged feeling in the single story side. There are other areas which he did explore, and there was some good aspects, but all the way through my gut was just kicking off. And basically the mistake I made was mixing business with pleasure, or old friends in the trade thinking that I'm going to get a good turn off them. So one thing that I'd say going into this is I would always now, because personally this is going to be the biggest financial investment that you're likely to make on a personal basis, which is your house. We're putting money down that is potentially, if it goes sideways, going to cost us a lot of money. So we need to get it right. And mixing those two relationships, which is friends, and you think straight away, you think friends, mates rates, good service, looked after. But in all honesty, if you're looking at it from the other side, they probably think that job can get palmed off and wait. We can use this because they're all right. You can do what you want yourself. You might have great friends that you're a close link to you that are sort of better to advise you. But me personally, I wouldn't, if I was to do this again, well, I'd have my builder because I'd keep him. Because a friendship has come out of working together with my builder. So that's beautiful. But I wouldn't mix business and pleasure together. Anyway, it didn't work out. There's various different reasons. Communication was poor, the vibe was bad, the vision wasn't on our par, the timing wasn't great. I remember one point the motivation was that I was going on a stag do, so I needed paying early, and basically I just made a boo-boo there. So I thought, stick with it, and the way it was explained to me, or with this architect, was you do the plans and then you do the building reg plans. So once the plans get approved, then you pay for the next set of plans, which is the building regs plans. Basically the two separate payments, two separate plans that need drawing up. Okay, but later on, that isn't quite the case. So anyway, that's the mistake I made. So I got through planning, got it rejected once on the bigger multiple level elevation side. I went too far out, 5 meters. They wanted 4 meters, so they rejected it. Then we adjusted it to 4 meters just to get through, because at this point I'd made my decision to get rid of the architect. I just wanted to cash out on the plans being approved, so I could appoint the next architect. So I actually went down to a neighbour's house, Jamie, Popped down to his house and he was like, what are they going on about? You don't pay for two separate set of plans. You don't pay for building regs, plans, drawing, and then building regs. You just pay for one set of plans. So he got me in touch with his architect. So this is where you can see actually having neighbours and people in the local area have a benefit. So this guy came round, an older sort of architect compared to the other one, because the other one was quite youthful. So this architect came round and straight away listened to us, looked at the existing plans that we'd got, said what was right and wrong with them, was baffled by the fact that we were being charged, or there was two separate breakdowns, one for planning, one for building regs. He said when he does them and submits them, it's just got all the building regs on it, which sounds a little bit like overwhelming, but basically it's just all the terminology, I think, and all the numbers and everything around it. So he was baffled by that. So he listened, he absorbed what he wanted, looked around the premises, weighed everything up, told us the cost, told us the exact cost. The thing is with this is you think it's halfway done so you can jump on, but you can't. New person involved, you have to go right back to the beginning, other than the plot plan, which is the plan around the outside, which is here. That's the only thing that you sort of save a bit of money on, which is 25 quid. He then tells me what I can and can't have. So he understands the vision, and then he's just very bold and direct in saying like, this will get approved, that won't get approved, that won't work, this won't work. And he's telling me, or advising me, but in a definitive manner that I felt comfortable with this. So he goes away, does his drawings, he gets submitted, he gets approved, bang on, perfect. I'm not going to talk about the council and the planning officers and the planning permission. They are understaffed, under pressure, and there's some massive bugbears that I had going into it, but each borough is different. So basically my understanding of it is each borough governs itself, and then if you want to take them on, like they reject your plan, it goes down to London or something like that. And the only reason I know that is one of my friends had a huge extension. They kept getting it rejected. And basically they employed a specialist architect that worked with Greenbelt land and also a solicitor or something like that. And bang, it went through using the method of overruling the local borough and sort of sending it to that. Because in this case, to my understanding of what I've gone through and what I've spoke to other people is, if you have got a strong vision on something and you really, really, really want something, do not be frightened at this stage to fight for it. Because, like I say, each borough is different, and then the central governing body, which is down south, their ruling is different. And also, because my particular area, my planning officer was a lovely, lovely, lovely man. He was just bound by sort of red tape and sort of what they can do and what they can't do. And the part that was disappointing for me was getting a copy and paste rejection letter that said that worked proactively and stuff like that. And I imagine every single person in my borough got that copy and pasting. And I'd like to see, I said I wasn't going to go into it, and I'm not going to go into it, but the one change, if anyone watches this from planning, the one change that I'd love to see is that the planning officers and the planning officers superior member, if you like, the person who rejects it and signs it off, actually come round to your house and tell you why they reject it, what they won't reject, and how they can actually work with you. But again, I know they're under mad pressure, and I know that they've got big, substantial, massive plots of new build houses and loads of things going on, and Johnny's only a small fish with his extension, and he can just get palmed off. But it would have been lovely to see independent extensions that are applied for being supported in a more individualistic way to help me at home understand why my home can't have this, can't have that, can't have the other. In fact, even in this day and age, a Skype call would do, or a video call, should I say, anything to just give a little bit of personal sort of support in growing your house. I mean, I am happy now with what I've got, by the way, very happy, but there are things that I would have loved, like a third floor, that would have helped, okay? Okay, so the second architect came in and he drew up these plans. This is with the existing, with the conservatory on the right and the external garage on the left. That's the side where the single story is going to go, where the conservatory currently is. And this is the back of the property, and that is the side where the garage is. Okay, so you can see there, that's what we're working with. This is a second architect's drawings. Bang, this is what he comes up with, okay? Which is quite close to what the original architect was saying, but it was just a lot more definitive and a lot more like, a lot better and just flew straight through the planning process. Or a few parts I didn't want to negotiate on were, I wanted the feature length window on the left hand side from top to bottom. It's beautiful, airy, lovely, gives the house a bit of individualistic quality and is very, very nice to look at in my opinion. And I live in it, so we're the most important people that should affect really. You can see the porch there. Now this was a part that was a little bit discussed with the planning officer and the architect, because the word that they use is the extension needs to be submissive to the existing build. Okay, so that means it had to be staggered back by 1 meter. And because I wanted that porch extending, it wasn't directly staggered back. I wanted to come out. But I think there was some sort of level of understanding within that there was a logical reason. 2 people can't fit down that corridor. Open it up, it doesn't do a detriment, it still drops back and it looks beautiful, but they definitely wouldn't let me have a second floor. So you remember the original, I couldn't take it up to that level. Plus it would have just cost a bloody fortune in steel and engineer's drawings. In fact, because of that porch, we had to get structural engineering, which this is the thing, if you can understand that. Well done to you. So then we go on to the next one, and this is the single story side. So now you can see we've got 5 meter bifolds opening beautifully, and we've got a peak, which should make the inside feel, which is where I'm sat right now, feel airy. And it does. I'll be straight with you. It feels beautiful. And I'm glad that we made that adjustment at that particular point. I think when these houses were made in 1995, and I know there's been a massive adjustment since, they weren't concerned with natural light. They were concerned with profit. They weren't concerned with living standards. So the house that we bought, the 3 bedrooms as it stood at the beginning, was deprived of natural light because the sun comes across the back and it just didn't get in the house at all. So that was one of the changes that we wanted, and that wasn't a problem. And then we've got the side of the house, which is a little bit of a bigger area. They wouldn't allow us to extend 5 meters out. They would only allow us to extend 4 meters out, which was why it was rejected. But in the end, it actually works out pretty good, you know, because, oh, I'll go into that in the video, so I'll let you see that for yourself. But that's what went on with the plan. So hopefully I've shed some light on that particular area, and now the next video is going to be on the how to find a good builder, because I know that is a pressure point, a fear factor, a nervous, exposed zone that I felt going into this, and I had 6 builders round. But I found my perfect one. Okay, so see you in the next one.